Good. How are you?
Doing great. Okay, so I mean, you look glamorous, but it's all about the footwear. So are we wearing slippers today? Yes.
Slipper.
Of course we are. It's the beauty of doing Zoom interviews,
Honestly.
Right.
So how have you guys been coping through the last 8 months? Are you both in Arizona?
So we're actually both in Los Angeles right now because Artem's doing Dance with the Stars. But I'm actually out of Arizona now. I'm living in Napa Valley.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's great. Making the big move.
Yes.
Do you love it so far?
Love it. Love it. Love it. I'm
Love
like,
it
it's
so
my
far.
happy place. So
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, so we're all excited for the new season of Total Bellas, and this follows your tandem pregnancies. And I mean, I love that you guys are really real about it. And the first scene that I saw was when you open up the robe. So you really do. I mean, but I think it's very important because you're showcasing how a woman's body changes during pregnancy.
I mean, there are so many changes and no one really talks about them. So I'm experiencing these and I'm like, what the, so anyone who's ever had laser way, girls, let me tell you,
it comes back.
It comes back in weird places. And all of a sudden I have a mohawk and I'm like, Brie, what did you do?
Well, you had more than just that. You were shocked about a lot of things down there. Okay. But
that is true.
Yeah, and that's what you're gonna get with Total Bellas is my sister and I, we don't have filters at all. And so us both being pregnant together just kind of eggs us on to just really showcase everything with pregnancy.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly how it should be because there's no, you can't gloss over it. It's real, it happens.
I agree. You can, and that's, I think, the thing that's refreshing because we've even showcased that on our podcast. And I actually ended up getting a hemorrhoid deal because here I'm pregnant. I lift up a bed with Artem and I'm like, what the? And then I'm going to the bathroom and I'm like, what is that feeling? And why am I bleeding? What's happening? Yeah. By the way, the hemorrhoids haven't left. They've gone more.
I mean, it's 3 months later. It happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm afraid to push anything anymore.
Oh my God.
And then during delivery, the only reason I know that women poo-poo when they deliver is because I dated a doctor for a little bit. So that's the only reason I know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are all things that you have to know going in.
100%. And it's, it was funny because with Birdie, my first one, the nurse was like, every time I would go and she would have to clean me up, she was like, you don't have to, I'd always say
Brie
sorry.
would always say sorry.
She's like, you don't have to apologize. This is all normal through labor.
And by the way, I had no idea. So I took the leg and when Brie just kept going number 2, I was like, is this normal? Is she okay? But I mean,
cleaning everything out.
I told Artem, I go, don't you dare get in the front. You stay in the back.
Yeah.
The world's going to see the front. But I was like, you're not. But then they bring the mirror out. Oh. And I will tell you, I couldn't even focus on his head pushing it out because I could not believe how big my anus was.
What?
Are you kidding me? It was like a baseball looking thing.
Really?
I literally, the doctor and I go, is that normal? And I could tell everyone was like, she's literally pushing a baby out and all she could focus is on her rectum, right? Is that what
I don't know.
They say anus. Anus or rectum.
What?
I
didn't even know they bring the mirror out.
Oh, they bring it because it's supposed to help if
you.
the head's that close, it helps you so when you're pushing, you're
you're all right, let's get it going. Yeah.
But I was
okay, so I mean, it's what you got, your twins, you both got pregnant at the same time. That is such a beautiful thing to go through together.
Yes.
Now, Brie, this is your second baby. So how did you kind of coach Nikki along?
I coached her through everything. Still coaching her, I feel like. I'm just kidding. But no, what I helped her, I told her all the things that no one told me that that really just shocked me, but also kind of would drown me a little bit, being a new mom. And I was like, I don't want that for you.
Right.
And even with pregnancy. So I felt like I definitely I kept things positive, but I also just let her know, you don't have to freak out every second when something changes or something doesn't feel right. Cause this is just how it works when you're creating life and also giving life. So
that's why I never really wanted to read books or watch videos, which maybe was default because she would give me really great advice. And I look at Birdie, I'm like, well, that kid turned out great. So I want one of those.
That's right. Give me one of those.
Yeah.
But I mean, despite all the advice, could anything have really prepared you for giving birth and then the months that followed?
No, nothing. It literally, I honestly feel like it's good to be prepped, but you're really just learning as you go, and nothing is what you expect it to be. It's so much harder.
Yeah. And I told her, I'm like, every person's journey is different. Like,
And baby's different.
right. Like Mateo has some colic and had colic when he was born and all that. And that's something I never dealt with. And I told her, I'm like, I can't give you advice on that because I haven't dealt with that. And that's
Don't they cry too when they're colicky?
A lot.
A lot.
And so that was like, I mean, I bounce on an exercise ball nonstop, and Brie never had to do that. Like, if you're over at my house, I'm like, hey, Brie, what's up? Like, just bouncing away, because that's like the one thing that soothes him so much. I mean, my calves have gotten in great shape because I'm like, I'll put my toes up, and I'm like, well, might as well make it a workout.
I mean, I was babysitting him one time, and I was bouncing, and I would stop, and then he'd cry again. And I remember sitting there, and I'm like getting spasms.
I get back spasms all the time, and I just keep going, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And he just smiles at you like, yay.
Oh, I love it. You guys produce beautiful babies. Let me tell you, Buddy and Mateo and Birdie. But Buddy and Mateo, they're going to be thick as thieves growing up.
They're little heartbreakers. I mean, Mateo already looks like a European teenage heartthrob. I'm like, that hair and
the hair,
like,
I know.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And him and Buddy, they're just gonna break hearts. Oh my gosh,
they are. And the thing too is, I feel like they're already a tag team. Like how they are together is so cute.
It
and
really
I'm gonna see a future in the wrestling world, or maybe on the dance floor. Who knows?
Oh yeah,
together.
Ballroom dance.
Oh, are they athletic already, like their parents?
Very. Both of them.
Yes. And they both, when I
very strong.
They have our feet.
So that's like,
I feel like we have athletic feet.
We do. We have athletic feet, but they're very freakishly strong almost.
They really are.
Like, it's crazy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and I have a weave in, and he just pulls that out daily.
Oh God.
This is expensive too. Like,
you have to protect the weave.
Yeah, yes. Totally.
So what if they told you, like, it's someday if they wanted to be on reality television, would you encourage that?
Ooh. You know what I would tell him, I'm like, this is your life, you decide, but just know what comes with it. Because you know that thing, like when we signed up for it, Nicole and I knew, like, if we're gonna do this, not only are we gonna be open books, but just know the judgment that will come, the hate that will come, and we have to make sure that we have thick enough skin for that. So I just want to make sure, and then, like, being a lioness, you're protective of your cubs. So I just want to be like, it'll be hard for mommy to see people judge you, but if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do.
Can you see them having as much of a bromance as Brian and Artem do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, totally. And I have to say, this season of Bella's, Brian and Artem's bromance is so amazing.
Some of their conversations.
You know what's fun for us is, like, being reality stars, we actually get to see the private conversations they have.
Right.
So watching it this season, I'm like, I actually like cry laugh because it looks like a comedy skit. I'm like, this is how these communicate. Like, it's hilarious. But I think Buddy and Mateo, I mean, they're going to be running the schools they're in, like the vineyards. They're
so Nikki, with Artem on Dancing with the Stars, do you get to see him a lot, or how does that work?
I mean, I do. It's hard to keep him present when he's home, and he tries his best, but he is extremely busy. And I would be lying to say, like, oh, it's been easy and it's been great. It's been very difficult.
Yeah.
Because when he had to start dancing and when he left us, Mateo was 4 weeks old. And being a new mom, and then your fiance leaves, and like, he and I were such a great team that I thought I was very supportive. I thought I could do this, and I was shook. I'm like, I can't do this without him. So it's definitely been a struggle. It caused, like, me to even fall into postpartum depression. And I've been so much better now. And he tries his best. Like, poor guy, people don't realize that he goes out there so sleep deprived too when he has to dance, because, like, he's helping me out, and he's been great with that. But I'm very happy it's done in 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. I made my man.
People have been saying that Carrie Ann has been super harsh.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
So I'm an athlete, and, like, when I sign up for reality TV, I know what I'm gonna get with it. They're doing a competition show. Yeah. So I'm actually team Carrie Ann, because I'm like, she's a judge. She's there to judge you on your dance, critique you, constructive criticism. So Artem and I had this discussion, and I didn't take his side, and he was kind of shocked. And I'm like, she's doing her job. And by the way, because she was hard on them for 2 weeks, look at what they did this past Monday. They got 10s. And then I told her, I go, because you guys have made it personal, you've caused her to be bullied, and I'm against that. And I told him, you need to make it right. So he was going to post this video one day because then he started to feel bad. But I'm like, I guess I see it from just such a different perspective, you know?
Well, and Carrie Ann's style is she does get harder as the season goes on.
And she's
I feel like
very
she's
strict
always-
with lifts and, you know, different things. And I feel like when you do have great potential, she is harder on you because you do have potential.
Yes.
Like I remember that with Carrie Ann.
Yeah.
And I think she sees so much potential in the women. Like I know Carrie Ann personally, and she's actually a beautiful soul. Like she's like so encouraging and positive. So for me, I'm like, I think sometimes people are like, she's so hard on the women. I'm like, I think because she believes in the women so much.
Right.
But
she has high expectations.
yeah, it would be boring if everyone was like.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
With Len gone, it's like someone's got to be the Simon Cowell.
Yeah. Like I know they dated, but I was like, that was so long ago. She has great taste in men. So do I.
I'm gonna shame Artem when he comes home later from rehearsal.
Shame him.
I'm gonna shame
when
him.
he walks in the door, we'll go shame, 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 shame.
I love it. Okay, so Nikki, like something else that came up on your podcast was that you've been having dreams about your exes and like having full conversations with your exes.
Yeah.
So tell me about that for a second.
So I blame the blue moon.
In retrograde, right? Mercury.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it was true. They were saying like you're gonna have vivid dreams, and I started to have crazy vivid dreams. Like I was sitting having coffee with all my exes. I was like here at a table, and they were taking their turns. And
it's like a round table.
Yeah, like almost like the fast dating. You know, when they come in and then Speed dating.
Yeah.
And like the conversations felt so real, but what was weird, it was like clarity of like you're in the where you're supposed to be, and I'm good and I'm happy, and it was really weird. And I woke up like, oh wow, like that was great conversation, and I feel
right.
And but I
want that.
Yeah. Well, girl, you
gotta
put your
with
crystals
Brian.
out.
I've been with Brian too long.
How long have you and Brian been together?
9 years.
Oh my goodness.
Married 5.
What are you gonna do for the big 10 year?
You know, we've always wanted to go to Iceland and see the Northern Lights.
Oh, that would be
so I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
Is Birdie loving being a
coffee with my exes, my dreams?
Well, let me ask you, Nikki, because everyone's obviously wondering, like, is John Cena in these dreams, and like, what's the conversation been like there?
Oh, of course. You know,
yeah.
We got great clarity with that. So
Wonder if he knows.
His exit actually was like, you can't see me, and he vanished. And I was like, oh, I can't. Is that a good joke?
Mom joke. Mom joke. You doing the mom joke. She always gives me a hard time about mom jokes. You just said
yes. I love that. So wait, Brie, is Birdie loving being a big sister now?
She loves it. It's so funny because I feel like she's like, I'm a big sister. Like, this is a responsibility.
Yes.
And, you know, she wasn't a terrible 2. She's become a 3-nager. So she turned 3 and now she thinks she knows everything.
Yeah.
So I think she likes the fact that like she's in charge and gets to be bossy. And she's now starting to think she gets to boss me around too because she's a big sister. So, but she loves it. Like she looks at Mateo and Buddy like her own. It's the cutest thing.
Oh, she's gonna be like the protective older sister.
Oh, major.
Like when Buddy cries, like it will be 1 second cries, and she'll come in and go, "But Bud's crying." Well, you know, it's been 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It's okay. We don't need to waste there. And she will literally keep telling me until I go get him.
Oh, and like when Mateo cries, even if we're on FaceTime, she'll start singing, and she makes up her own songs.
It's so
I love that. And you know that like later on in life, she'll be screening all the dates. You know what I mean?
Totally.
They have to get approval through the big sister.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
And one more question before I let you guys go. What are your plans for the holidays? I know it's going to be weird this year because of the pandemic, but what do you have going on?
Well, the best part about being neighbors is we get to keep everything local for us.
Yeah, honestly.
So we're just gonna
drink a lot of wine.
Yeah. And but the one thing we said we are definitely gonna do, we feel like we've been so casual 2020 that we said the holidays, even if it's at home and we're wearing slippers, we're gonna bring out the vintage clothes, we're gonna dress up, and we're gonna go really
Yeah.
all out this.
I
We're
love
over being
that.
like relaxed and
Yeah, we
casual.
don't want to be relaxed anymore. We're like, we're doing it big, even if it means being at home, we're gonna make it feel
Yeah.
like the Great Gatsby.
Yep.
Heck yeah. And by the way, the two of you look great.
Thank
Aw.
How
you.
have you been like getting back in fighting form?
Well, right now, only nutrition. Like I told Artem, when you're done dancing, Mama is finally going to get naps and get workouts in. But I have to focus so much on my nutrition because I'm not getting either.
Yeah.
So it's,
I started to work out.
yeah, you
My
started
husband
workout. I've done a
started
few
giving me-
workouts, but nothing
Yeah.
crazy.
Even though he's like has these rings hanging from our ceiling in the garage, he's like, you're just grabbing, you pull up 20 times. I go, whoa, I can't even pull up one time. Like we gotta start small. Like we can start small.
Imagine having implants.
Yeah, I mean, I have no abs. C-section cut me apart. So, but it's nice to get back into workout. It's weird what it does to you. It gives you this jolt of energy. It makes
I
you feel
miss
good.
sweating.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, it was a delight talking to you ladies.
Oh,
Thank you.
Congratulations on the new season. I love it.
Thanks
Thank
so much.
you.
And by the way, your makeup is incredible.
I know.
Thank
Like,
you so
you look
much.
so gorgeous. I couldn't
You do.
stop. Yeah.
You. I got a little ring light going here. It's all good.
Oh, us too. We're like the ring.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.